defense. We just, as our offense continues to gel each week, then defensively we just need to play games like this and finish. Finish like this, finish like we do in Pittsburgh. And like I said, we have a good team. We have a really good team, and we're going to end up winning a lot of close games this year. That's what it's going to take.
And a lot of it will be because of the play of Lance Briggs.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. We're the morning. Mike North, Dan Jiggetts with you, and from the Bear Report, John Crist.
How about this guy, Danny? I mean, you're talking about the plays that he made yesterday. Those are big time plays. I had said 2 years ago he was the best linebacker on the field, and he is the best linebacker on the Chicago Bears. And yesterday I thought he showed leadership for all week long, even from the podium all the way to the field.
Yeah, he played one heck of a ball game. And the knock on Lance Briggs in the past has been the fact that he'll get you 10 or 12 tackles a game, but he's not going to get you much more than that. But yesterday, you saw the sideline-to-sideline abilities, making the tackles, the interceptions. He's coming on blitz. He's knocking down passes. He's making those highlight reel plays that Brian Urlacher used to make. He's not going to make them anymore because he's on injured reserve. Lance Briggs is really in the prime of his career and playing unbelievable.
And I'm happy to see him winning without Brian Urlacher, because if they were losing, they're 0-this without him.
Of course.
That baby's left the barn.
Yeah.
They got a good enough team to get into the playoffs.
How good do you think that they can continue to play with the linebacking group, that the young kids show you something yesterday?
It's going to be tested again because we need to find out how hurt Hunter Hillmeyer is. I mean, he's already a backup. Jamar Williams is a good football player. He's been in the league 4 years now. They were high on him when they drafted him. Every time he's had an opportunity to play, he's done well. But he's one of these like Tony Graffinino type linebackers, if that makes sense.
Tony Graffinino?
Yes.
Tony Graffinino just walked up and my name came up.
He's Craig Graybeck. He's Tony Graffinino.
Yes.
He loses his value if you start him every day. But when you need him to fill in somewhere, he's one of the more valuable guys on your roster. That's how Roach played yesterday, and that's how Jamar Williams can be.
What are the limitations of those two guys, as you see it?
I think for the most part, it's just the fact that they're not big enough, and especially on the strong side of the line of scrimmage, they can be pushed around a little bit on the ground. They're both very good athletes. They're both pretty good in coverage. I like the idea of Nick Roach moving into the middle, because then he can go sideline to sideline and use that speed a little more. But on the strong side of the formation, he can get pushed around by tackles and tight ends on the ground.
I know that can happen, but I look at linebackers, and to me, I think that speed is the essential thing.
Sure, especially in this
scheme. Have outstanding athletes there, not only for the purposes of playing defense, but also for the purposes of special teams.
Right.
Because those are the guys that will fill out your roster in terms of your special teams play. They're outstanding athletes.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it, but you don't want to see them on the field as much as they were on yesterday. Now, Hillmeyer was having a good game. He did break it. They did break a tackle between him and Peanut Tillman for the touchdown.
See, Mike, on that play, Peanut is trying to strip the ball. And
there's some plays you got to hit the
That's
man.
one of the flaws.
Exactly right. Wrap him up first, and then go.
You have to secure the tackle.
I think when you stand the guy up, that's when the other guys come and strip it. If your first line of defense, when the guy's running towards you, is to try to grab the ball, then you're going to have what happen.
Sometimes you get the choo-choo train treatment.
Absolutely.
This is the choo-choo train treatment right here.
Yeah, you learn this lesson the hard way. You got to have tackler
and he hit him high.
And look at the blocking downfield too. Did you see the receivers downfield blocking too? That makes all the difference in the world right there.
It does. Not a good effort there from the Bears defense. And like I said, you got to have that first tackler rack him up and the second guy come in for the ball.
I see. Now, I want to go back to some of this run tape on Seattle, because what you're seeing with their offensive linemen is they're getting downfield.
Yeah, they're all there with them.
And we pointed out with the Bears, here they're getting pushed back a little bit. They're going wide outside. The other thing that they're doing with their guys is they're getting depth when they're coming outside. And that's one of the things that the Bears' offensive line doesn't appear to be doing, is getting depth. When you pull those guards out, get back and let them, because when you're coming out around the edge, all of a sudden then you get a picture of what's going on up front.
But we're a passing football team now. I think it's safe to assume that this team's going to make or break on the pass more than the run. I think we can't be active with the run.
It's crossed over.
It's crossed over. There's no doubt.
At some point or another, you're going to have to line up and pound it every now and then.
Oh, well, look at Pittsburgh. Yeah. They can't run the football right now.
When you talk about this being a passing team, it's not only a product of Jay Cutler not being in town. It's the fact that this offensive line is a pass-protecting offensive line right now, so they're calling their plays accordingly. I got the evil eye from Lovie Smith the other day in the locker room.
How is that? Is it one eyebrow up?
What does the evil eye look like?
Is it like this? One eyebrow up?
It's very subtle. It's sort of out of the corner over here, but I asked him about his offensive line, and I said, look, if you don't get what you want, is it 2 games, is it 4 games, is it 8 games, how soon, how late before you at least consider shaking up the lineup? I was subtly saying we're we're not seeing much out of Frank Omiel quite yet. And he didn't like the question. He deflected it. We love our offensive line. But just, again, you're talking about the depth of those offensive linemen. Look at when contact is being made on Matt Forte. It's before he has a chance to make positive yardage. There's no push up front.
Right there.
And Frank Omiel
nowhere to
is
go.
a great guy, but he's new to the guard position, and he's especially weak pulling. He just doesn't quite know where he needs to go, and he's not getting deep enough so that he can get clearance for the run game.
Because it's the whole thing about pulling is understanding how the play should
now,
it's a subtle sign.
is he the left guard? Is he the left or right?
He's the left guard.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of Matt's runs go on around
to
the
right
guard,
side.
to the right side. At least against Seattle, a lot of his runs. Not all of them, but a lot of them went to the right side. His off tackles went to the right.
Right. Because most teams, as Dan said between segments here, that most teams tend to run right-handed. Most offenses tend to be right-handed. So your left guard is the guy who's going to pull more often. He needs to be more athletic.
We just discussed Chris Williams, and if you've played, Danny, I understand that the right tackle spot, that's not his natural spot. And if you've been playing left tackle since you were, I don't know, 8, 9 years, since Pee Wee football, and you go to right tackle, even though it's an easier position, it's more complicated if you've spent your life playing the left side.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I always looked at it this way.
Because he's not getting it done.
If you're right-handed and you're playing right tackle, it's the natural. This is your right hand dominant, and that's the hand that you want dominant playing in pass protection on this side or run blocking to the right side. If you're left-handed, it's easier in a left-handed stance to get back and play again with your dominant hand. That's why I don't understand how a guy can have a problem moving to the right side from the left side, because it's a different position in terms of what they want out of you. Though left tackles are a little bit more fleet of foot, right tackles a little bit more of a power position.
You know what's bad is when it's one of those sacks that's called the exposed sack. That means when the quarterback gets blasted and the offensive lineman's running after the guy that's blasted. That's what happened to him. Right. He was done exposed.
Clear sacks.
The problem with Chris Williams right now is he does not have that excuse. Remember, we were asking, is he going to be okay moving from the left tackle position over to right tackle? Yeah. He's not necessarily one of these career left tackles. Remember, Chris Williams was a late bloomer. He played some guard at Vanderbilt. He played some right tackle at Vanderbilt. He told us all, training camp, preseason, this is not a new position. He'll be fine. He doesn't look so fine right now because, again, he has not get it done, and I think it's time to worry a little bit about Orlando Pace. I know he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great yet either. The offensive line, big question.
The other thing is it may take a little while for them to get everything together.
Sure.
When you make that many changes,
well, by the time you get it together.
But the one thing that shouldn't take you long to get together is moving off.
Well, another thing but the only thing about down the line is. Down the line means more games with a couple guys in that line that are long.
Right, but it's just like I asked Lovey. I mean, how long do you go saying these guys need to work together before you finally say, okay, it's not working?
Well, you know what's going to
be the fish eye like Lovey.
That evil eye? Maybe take Lovey to market.
Yeah, take Lovey over there.
So I can get the evil eye from Kenny Williams now instead, right?
That's exactly right. There's evil eyes to be given. Believe me, I'm an expert about the evil eye.
I imagine you are.
Oh, they're all over the
place. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, John.
All right, this is going.
Absolutely.
Time for a break here at the Monsters in the Morning. Then we'll check out other NFC North action from this past weekend when we return for hour number 2 next here on Comcast SportsNet.